Coming up in this episode, Bradford Bulls get an IMG answer. Castleford Tigers get a new coach. And Rugby League star will return to Rugby League. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you enjoy what you've seen and if you want to continue seeing more. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my 800th episode of Held Dominance, so thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Whether you were here at the beginning or just recent Johnny come latelys, I appreciate you all, and all those that keep commenting on these videos. I want to make 800 more as soon as possible, but to bring you the right rugby league news. Anyway, to begin the episode, first we're going to speak about Andy Last, as he has been announced as the new Castleford Tigers head coach. Last, who joined the Tigers initially as assistant coach in 2022, has stepped up as interim head coach over the past month, but will now lead the Tigers on a 2.5-year contract. The 42-year-old has had an enormous amount of experience during his coaching career, having represented his hometown club Hull FC as a player and a coach for well over 23 years before moving on to Wakefield Trinity and eventually linking up with the Tigers ahead of the previous campaign. During his time as assistant at the Black and Whites, Last helped the club achieve back-to-back Challenge Cup final successes in 2016 and 2017 before taking over on an interim basis during the 2022 season for Hull, where he guided them to the Betfred Super League semi-final. In that same year, Last had the honour of being named as one of the head coach Sean Wayne's assistants in the build-up to the 2021 Rugby League World Cup, which saw the Three Lions unfortunately exit the tournament at the semi-final stage. Now at the helm at Weldon Road, Last spoke to CastlefordTigers.com and began by explaining his pride that he feels to be taking charge of the club permanently. I am absolutely over the moon. I have been waiting for an opportunity as a head coach for a number of years now, and I feel as though I have served my apprenticeship working alongside some outstanding coaches whom I have learned a great deal. I'm looking forward to putting my mark on Castleford over the next 2.5 years. It's a very honest and hard-working club which is steeped in a rich history, and you can look at the players who have represented Castleford Tigers over the years. There have been some fantastic players who have worn the shirt. I'm looking forward to influencing the current group of players that we have and putting my stamp on things moving forward. From what we understand with what Andy Last is saying, he's looking to bring back that classy cast tag that they had during the 80s, early 90s, and going forward, looking for the players to be more dynamic, as well as putting in the hard work while playing rugby league. I want us to be more creative, and I want us to play with more shape. We want to really encourage the players to support the ball carrier, and I want us to be moving the ball quicker east to west and strike plays on the edge. We have got some creative players at the moment, but we need to implement a couple of tweaks and adjustments to get us playing the way we want to play. We want to make sure we entertain and be brave enough to find the pass or offload. I think defensively, over the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've shown a better desire to stop the opposition from scoring. What we need to do is try and find that energy and enthusiasm when we've got the ball, and to make a little more of it when we are attacking. The new cast coach has seen a couple of changes come into the club, with the signings of promising youngsters Lewis Johnson and Will Tate this month. Last recruitment for the years to come is already underway, and the Tigers' new head coach put forward what he'll be looking for in terms of retention and recruitment for 2024 and beyond. saying that the main factor when the recruitment or retention decision is whether they can improve Castleford Tigers. Whether Andy Last will be enough to keep Castleford away from the bottom of the table will be one to look at over the next coming weeks. We're a third of the way through the season, so it's going to be a tough one. I don't think they'll make the playoffs this year for the second year running. Our next story comes from Down Under, as former captain Roger Tuivasa-Sheck is joining the New Zealand Warriors for 2024 after signing a 3-year contract to end in the 2026 NRL season, which sees him return to the Warriors after leaving in 2021. The New Zealand Warriors granted Tuivasa-Sheck an early release so that he can switch to rugby union late in the 21 season, but the club have today announced his return to rugby league for a second term with his hometown club. Speaking about the move, New Zealand Warriors CEO Cameron George said it's hugely exciting knowing that Roger is coming to us back to his home at Mount Smart Stadium. When he went to rugby union, he did so knowing that he was welcome back here if he wished to return to rugby league. We couldn't be more delighted it's happening. He's popular with the players, a real fan favourite, and it is going to be so good to see him back in our jersey. When Tuivasa-Sheck switched to rugby union, he made 111 appearances for the Warriors by that time, from 2016 to the 2021 season, with a career that tallied in the nearly 200 games. He also played 20 tests for the Kiwis. Roger is a quality person and a leader who will add another layer to our squad with his enthusiasm, experience, skill and professionalism, said Andrew McFadden, the club's general manager, recruitment, pathways and development, general manager of all three. He will be a tremendous mentor for our younger players, while he'll also bring a fresh perspective after spending time in the rugby union. One New Zealand Warriors head coach, Andrew Webster, is looking forward to renewing his relationship with Tuivasa-Sheck. Roger comes to the club in my second season as assistant coach in 2016, and he had a huge impact on the squad. That first year was cut short by an ACL injury, but it was brilliant to work with him. I'm super excited to know he is coming back to the club. Cameron George also said that the club won't be adding any further comment to the signing announcements to enable Tuivasa-Sheck to focus on his rugby union commitments for the rest of the year. But the 29-year-old did speak on the Blues website, the official website, that it hasn't been an easy decision to leave rugby union, and said he would confirm his future and create as little distraction as possible for the Auckland-based outfit as they entered an important phase in Super Rugby Pacific. I thoroughly enjoyed my time here with the Blues and made some great mates over the past 2 seasons, Tuivasa-Sheck told the Blues website. Out of respect for the Blues and my teammates, coaches, and of course the fans, I'm not going to go into too much detail about my next move. One thing was clear to me though, once I knew where my future held, I wanted to make this announcement and quickly shift the focus back to this season. I'm a Blues man now, and where all my energy is going. We have an important run of games coming up as we push for the playoffs spot and ensure we finish as high as possible on the table. In the immediate future, I want to get my injured hand sorted out, so I'm back and available to help the team in any way I can for the remainder of the 2023 season. And in our final part of the episode, we hear that Tony Sutton, the RFL CEO, had late chats with member clubs ahead of the IMG votes that went ahead yesterday. Yesterday, every Super League club backed those proposals, and this was despite that some clubs were going to vote against it. Wayfield's Michael Carter wrote in his club notes in the programme before the league game that he would not be in favour of the IMG proposals until the concerns were addressed, whilst there was also reports that Castleford Tigers could also have voted against it. It has since been suggested that further clarification provided to these clubs in the days before the IMG vote had determined which way they would go. Speaking yesterday, RFL CEO said of these conversations with clubs, "From my viewpoint, our aim since the 9th of March was that the clubs were well informed. Of course, we were supportive of this resolution all the way through and wanted clubs to vote in favour. But we haven't been trying to change anybody's minds. We've been trying to make sure that they were well informed so that they could vote accordingly. But yes, we had a lot of conversations over the last 6 weeks, and they've become more concentrated in the last 72 hours as well. I think in terms of the principles of grading, with exceptions of the 6 clubs who voted against it, the 88% have always approved of grading. They just want a bit more detail, and I guess the last 72 hours has prompted us to give people a bit more detail on this too. Teams have been supported, but just wanting that little bit more information. So the last 72 hours have been us asking what it is that they needed to help them vote in full mind. One of the pieces of work we shared with the clubs last Wednesday was to show how Grade B clubs could get to that assumed Super League threshold of 11 up to 12 points. I think that's probably answered quite a few questions, and then it was up to us to follow through with them. It was just trying to educate those top Championship B clubs and to some extent the lower Super League B clubs who might be looking over the shoulder, just to show them how 12 or 13 points can be achieved. That then develops the conversation of how they could get to be an A-grade club. There was a couple more things that came out of the votes yesterday, as we know that 2 clubs voted incorrectly. First of all, we have Salford Red Devils, who decided to have their representative vote in the positive for the IMG changes. Unfortunately, the representative voted to abstain from the vote. Every club in Super League did eventually support the changes, but Salford have been counted as an abstained vote. Salford tried to change it, but at this point, Super League still have 12 supporters. We'll stay in Super League as it does affect them as well. Catalan's Dragons need to get the vote. They were not allowed to vote due to historical non-inclusivity. Now they've decided that the 2 French clubs, the Lose not getting a vote either, are going to be in Super League or the Championship or a B grade or A grade, whatever type club. The system means that they should be getting a vote. That's the next thing that IMG should sort out. The French clubs should get the vote. And finally, London Scholars. They were going to abstain from the vote as they've not got all the information that they needed due to certain changes at board level for the club. They were counted as a vote against. Reckoning of it all, but London Court Scholars have apparently come out and said that they want more information. they were going to abstain from the vote, not vote for it either way. Which is their right. Good on them. Get more information. I'm just looking at it from a point of view of what can alleviate some of these potential B club grading criteria to get them in the top tier. Well, Bradford Bulls were the ones that came out and got an answer from IMG. According to a statement that Bradford Bulls put out, Super League will be looking to extend the amount of teams that are going to be in the division. They said in their statement, according to Bradford Bulls, crucially in our evaluation was reconfirmed of the aspirations to the size to increase the size of Super Leagues in the future, in future years, as more and more clubs achieve the standard and levels of excellence in the RFL and IMG is seeking. Knowing that every club in membership can work towards admittance to the top league was a fundamental decision. Grading will not suddenly transform the sport overnight, but it will provide encouragement to all clubs to progress across the board. So Bradford Bulls have seemingly got that confirmation that Super League will be expanding in future years. It's up to the clubs now then to get the facilities in play so that they can reach the promised land of Super League. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking on that notification bell for any updates or new videos that may be coming your way in the near future. Tell me what your thoughts are on today's episode in the comment section below, as it's open for business. There are 3 nice stories, and thank you Bradford Bulls for getting that clarification. But it's all up to you for what your thoughts are, and I'd like your feedback. Should Super League expand sooner than 2025, maybe even 2024? I think it should expand on year 1 for when these gradings come in. You can't make a full decision over 2 years if you are like that about 2 B grade clubs. So that's it, 2 years to get your facilities up and running to be considered as best level to what IMG think are at. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. Now in the episode, as I always do, by wishing you all the very best. So please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.